The scorpion. Its infamous appearance can mean danger, even death. The scorpion is a finely tuned hunter and an unflinching assassin. The venom in its stinger able to subdue even the most dangerous prey. But getting past its well-earned reputation reveals that the scorpion is an exceptional survivor, even a caring parent, with powers far beyond its notorious sting. For scorpions, survival has always been the primary motivator. 450 million years ago, when plants were first colonizing land, scorpions made their debut. These were giant aquatic creatures, their sprawling bodies supported by the shifting waters of a planet in transition. Within the next 100 million years, scorpions crawled onto land, one of the first aquatic species to become terrestrial. It was a hostile environment. Scorpions not only adapted, they flourished. As the earth cooled, they found niches to exploit. Eons passed, continents shifted, civilizations rose and fell. In the 21st century, scorpions crawl the earth unscathed. They are living fossils, unaffected and oblivious to change. And as air conditioning now allows humans to build their homes in deserts and jungles, encounters with scorpions will only increase. Living together safely depends on understanding the habits of these remarkable animals. Scorpions now radiate across the entire planet, on all major land masses except Antarctica. More than 2,000 different species have evolved to accommodate wildly differing habitats. From rainforests to mountaintops to sun-baked deserts, they've got what it takes to survive in the most severe and extreme environments. Scorpions could even feel at home in a post-nuclear wasteland. Radiation, capable of wiping out almost all other life forms, seems to have little effect on them. Wherever they find themselves, they are masters at discovering a way to meet their needs. They are continuing victors in the evolutionary arms race. As their prey has evolved defenses, the scorpion has evolved better weapons of attack. Walking across the sands of southeastern Arizona, the giant desert hairy scorpion. It's the largest scorpion in North America. In this arid environment, the desert hairy searches for its prey, small lizards, crickets, even the tarantula. The local tarantula is a species known as the desert blonde. A tarantula's eyesight is rudimentary, not nearly keen enough to spot the partially concealed scorpion. Gripping the log with its tiny claws, the tarantula manages an escape. It's a warm, windless night. Perfect hunting conditions for the desert scorpions. But for this tarantula, it's like navigating a minefield. On a night like this, its only hope is to find refuge in a burrow of its own. The desert hairy tunes into its surroundings, waiting to sense the smallest vibration. A slight motion behind it prompts an attack.
From where the girls were attacked, villagers catch a massive crocodile.
Resistance is quashed with a quick injection of venom.
They hope it's the...
The scorpion maneuvers the tarantula to consume it head first. A clue to the scorpion's survival lies in its archaic anatomy. The parts are rudimentary, but remarkably efficient. Ancient fossils show that little has changed for hundreds of millions of years. Although there are slight variations from one species to the next, the basics are always the same. The main body is covered by a hard carapace, or plate, impermeable to water and able to expand across its joints. Claws are used for capturing and crushing prey. These powerful pedipalps combine the sensitivity of antennae with the grasping ability of a pair of pliers. Chelicerae, or jaws, are like tiny pincers used for chewing and consuming prey. Their 2 center eyes and up to 5 pairs of lateral eyes provide only rudimentary vision. Unique to scorpions are sensory organs called pectines that protrude on either side, underneath the body. They comb the ground, giving the scorpion chemical clues to its environment. The articulated tail and its crowning glory, the stinger. Throughout human history, the scorpion has been feared and reviled. Because they're nocturnal, their habits were always shrouded in mystery, and people assumed the worst. Scorpions were considered agents of the devil, or the underworld. And even today, few people think of scorpions as anything less than terrifying. But the truth about scorpions is only just emerging. It was in the late 1960s that a startling discovery thrust scorpion research on an enormous leap forward. All species of scorpions fluoresce under ultraviolet light. The glow is caused by a substance in the outer layer of the scorpion's body. This glowing layer is so durable that it's often found in scorpion fossils hundreds of millions of years old, and it still fluoresces. No one yet knows the function of this feature, but it's allowing researchers to find and study scorpions as they roam through the dark. Scorpions are evolutionary success stories. What is their secret to survival? Is it their foolproof anatomy? Their ability to adapt? Or is it something else entirely? The answer may lie in the hunt. A scorpion is an unflinching assassin. With merciless pincers and a venom-charged stinger, a hungry scorpion is built to kill. Hunting strategies have been honed to perfection. This death stalker is engaged in the hunting method of choice for almost all species of scorpion. Hunkering down in a protected burrow seems an unlikely place for a seasoned killer, but evolution teaches lasting lessons. Hunting for prey can be done just as easily from the safety of your doorstep. This Asian forest scorpion is one of the many species that prefers home delivery. From its bunker, a scorpion can check out the evening's offerings. After dark, a parade of nocturnal creatures erupts onto the desert floor. It could well be the cast from a nightmare. These night crawlers are enticed out by the evening's lower temperatures and cooling desert sands. It's only a matter of time before one will venture across a scorpion's burrow door. With no time to react, this wolf spider is dragged into the scorpion's lair. A feast can take several days and may be enough to sustain a scorpion for months. Although a burrow is preferable, every once in a while a scorpion may decide to stretch its legs. This giant desert hairy is one of few species known to venture out for food. Like all scorpions, the desert hairy is able to detect prey using the incredibly sensitive hairs on its legs. Even a mealworm's subtle movements create vibrations through the ground. The hairs act like sophisticated sensors, picking up the tiny waves. As the grains of sand shift, the waves hit the hairs of each leg at slightly different intervals. This information is processed quickly, telling the scorpion the direction and exact distance of its prey. This mealworm may as well be holding a flashing neon sign. With such a lethal skill set, a scorpion rarely needs to venture far from its burrow. Whether it's an ambush or an attack, the hunt is only the beginning. Armed with weapons of destruction, the method scorpions use to kill their prey varies from species to species. An Asian forest scorpion moves silently through the humid jungles of Burma. This species is found throughout the tropics of Southeast Asia. It tracks across the damp forest floor, searching for a crevice large enough to fit its menacing frame. geckos are night hunters. They scour burrows for insects and grubs. This small lizard is painfully unaware of the trap that waits before it. Asian forest scorpions rarely use their stinger. Equipped with incredibly strong claws, they prefer to crush their prey to death. The merciless grip folds the gecko into submission. In the damp, dark confines of its burrow, this scorpion will require days to consume its catch. Uniquely designed membranes in the torso expand like an accordion to accommodate the feast. With a large meal like this, the scorpion's body weight can increase by more than 1/3. If the pincers of a scorpion are particularly small and narrow, chances are the tail is powerful and packed with venom. For these scorpions, a quick sting may be all that's required to finish off an adversary. The sun drops down over the Kalahari Desert, disappearing before the night's dramas unfold. The burrowing scorpion, native to southern Africa, is on the hunt. The scorpion stands stock still, sensing motion nearby. An unwary cricket walks into ready claws. The scorpion carries its prey like a trophy, moving to a more secluded area for feeding, but its prey isn't willing to go quietly. A matter-of-fact delivery of paralyzing venom ends this cricket's story. The jaws, like miniature claws, are used to masticate its prey. Nothing is wasted. As with all arachnids, digestion begins outside the mouth. Enzyme-rich juices from the gut are secreted onto the food before it's ingested. It's a slow, methodical process of tearing, chewing, and swallowing, and it will last well into the morning. A desert in northwestern Mexico is home to this vinegaroon, which looks like a cross between a giant ant and a scorpion. Like most other arachnids, the vinegaroon makes its rounds at night when the desert sands are cooler and many large predators are fast asleep. Unlike scorpions, this creature is not venomous, but its long whip-like tail can still pack a punch. When irritated, a vinegar-like liquid shoots out the end of the tail. It's like built-in pepper spray, always ready for intruders. A carnivore, the vinegaroon hunts down prey in crevices and small burrows. But every so often, it knocks at the wrong door. A giant desert hairy wastes no time in welcoming this guest in. With its body and tail tightly gripped, the vinegaroon has no means of defense. With little ceremony, the methodical feeding begins. Because they're such successful hunters, scorpions rarely need to practice their art. In any given habitat, only a tiny fraction of the scorpion population feeds on any one night. The remainder are hidden in their burrows, waiting to ambush or just digesting their latest conquest. Scorpions have survived longer than almost any other terrestrial species. What is it about this no-nonsense creature that gives it lasting power? Skillful hunting? built-in weaponry? Or are these traits just the beginning? Scorpions are generally non-social, solitary animals. Most interaction only occurs when young or when they hunt one another as prey. But once in a while, an instinct even greater than hunger overpowers the lives of these invertebrates. Reproduction. It begins with a chemical invitation sent by a female. A male's pectines, that organ unique to scorpions, sweep the ground intermittently, eventually picking up the scent of a female ripe for mating. This message triggers a complex encounter that's been a popular subject of study for biologists around the world. Unlikely lovers, scorpions are unique in their mating techniques. Courtship is a long, drawn-out affair, a pas de deux that's full of ritual and sexual gymnastics. The details of this dance vary from species to species, but mating can last anywhere from 1 to 36 hours. This pair of slender brown scorpions demonstrate their variation of the ancient dance. The male sometimes locks and massages the female's jaws with his own. It's a scorpion-style kiss and often serves to subdue the female's natural aggression. A sexual sting can occur in the throes of passion, the male puncturing the female with his tail. It's a dramatic but harmless gesture, and scientists still don't understand its purpose. During courtship, both male and female scorpions display a distinctive shaking motion called jittering. This is a sign that mating is in high gear. But there is nothing sentimental about it, for this dance is purely mechanical. The male deposits a bundle of sperm on the ground. The dance, little more than a drawn-out tug-of-war, is actually the male carefully drawing the female towards the bundle. This takes time, patience, and diplomacy. And for good reason. Up temperature. If it's very cold, the gestation period can double. If she's unable to find food during her pregnancy, she'll reabsorb the embryos to survive. A single pregnant female transported into an unfamiliar habitat can start a whole new colony. Many parts of the world are only home to certain species because of a pregnant scorpion accidentally stowed on a cargo ship. Babies arrive, setting the female could get the male eaten by his mate. Males are capable of mating more than once in a short period of time. They can produce new sperm bundles in less than a week and start the dance all over again with a different partner. A pregnant female will stay that way anywhere from 3 to 18 months, depending on food supply, and type one by one, fully formed. After birth, they're immediately hoisted onto their mother's back. The number of offspring varies, but it can be anywhere from 1 to over 100. A female scorpion with a large litter can give birth continually for days. This is a scorpion's most vulnerable time. If it's separated from its mother at this very early stage, it will become dehydrated and die. Almost 30 babies are supported by this.
From where the girls were attacked, villagers catch a massive crocodile. They hope it's the killer. All night long, they they struggle to haul it back to the village. It's alive and still wants to fight. It's clearly an exceptional animal. But the real question is, have they just caught the largest croc on record? And will that finally bring an end to 2 years of terror? The Agusan Marsh lies on the island of Mindanao in the southern Philippines. It's an almost pristine wetland the size of the city of Chicago. At the southern end lies Lake Mihaba. The enormous network of lakes, rivers, and marshland is an ideal habitat for crocodiles. People live here for the same reason as the crocs. The fishing is good. Some build their houses floating right on the water. Others live in stilt houses dotted around the marsh. In the rainy season, the water level can rise by 4 meters. It seems idyllic, but something strange has happened. For 2 years, this water has brought misery and terror. A massive crocodile stalked the villagers. It ripped their precious water buffalo to shreds before their eyes. Attacked one fisherman and his son. And snatched another man from his boat to eat him alive. But it all started with the attack on the schoolgirls on Lake Mihaba, in the heart of the marsh. It's 6 o'clock, already nightfall. 11-year-old Rowena Ruiz and her friend Echel Rodrigo are heading home from school. Fisherman Roy Dagas follows right behind. None of them knows that they're being watched by a crocodile about to start a killing spree. Sitting up front, Rowena never sees it coming. Roy saves Echel from what looks like a monstrous crocodile. But Rowena is decapitated.
Seeing her head in the crocodile's mouth was disgusting. Later on, we found her body covered with banana leaves. It was really smelling bad.
Rowena's dugout canoe still bears the scars of the attack.
This is Rowena's boat, and these are the bite marks left by the crocodile. Here, here, and here.
What kind of monster can bite through solid wood? The culprit is a saltwater crocodile, or salty. They're the largest of all living crocodilians, typically reaching 4 to 5.5 meters. Salties prefer freshwater, but can live in the sea because they're able to excrete salt through special glands. They've spread thousands of kilometers across the ocean to colonize lands from India to Australia. Salties have been hunted to the brink of extinction in much of Southeast Asia for their fashionable and highly sought-after hides. They also have the strongest bite of any animal. The Agusan Marsh is one of the last strongholds of salties in the Philippines. Since 1994, the crocodiles here are fully protected. Killing one could land you 12 years in prison. The tables have turned. Now the people are being hunted. Roy Dagas is badly shaken by the attack.
I was afraid that Ruina's parents would blame me for her death and kill me, since I was the one who picked her up.
With a rogue crocodile in their midst, no one feels safe. But they have nowhere else to go. 70% of the people here make their living by fishing.
We wouldn't get any work in town because my husband is a fisherman. So we have to stay here in the Agusan Marsh. We have no choice but to stay here.
The people who live in the marsh are mostly an ethnic minority known as the Manobo. They live a mostly traditional lifestyle in one of the poorest areas of the Philippines, completely dependent on the marsh for their livelihood. After years of peaceful coexistence, people here suddenly live in fear of crocodiles.
We stay inside most of the time because we are scared. We only go outside when Roy is around.
We used to see them, but they didn't attack anybody. Attacking people, that's reason.
Because the crocodiles are strictly protected, the villagers can't hunt the croc down until the government issues a permit. Meanwhile, children go to school, and the men still have to go out fishing to feed their families. Roy's brother, Reynaldo Dagas, is fishing with his son at their favorite spot in the marsh, right in the beast's lair. Fishing from the low-sided canoe, they're sitting ducks when the monster croc attacks. The pair fights back.
I hit it on the side of its head with my paddle. Then it bit the side of the boat. It was very close.
They bolt to the bank for safety. Reynaldo cheats death, one of the few who live to tell the tale.
I thank the Lord for saving me that night, or I would have been dead meat.
Just downriver from Lake Mihaba lies the village of San Marcos, population 1,075. The village has no electricity or running water. It's the main base for the Manobo, including people who live in floating houses and retreat here in the rainy season. Rudy Ayala is the chieftain of this area.
The biggest threat to crocodiles here is the growing number of people moving into the crocodiles' territory, competing with them for food and space.
Competition for fish in the lake could be causing the big croc to seek out new food. In San Marcos, it's found a ready supply. The people throw their garbage, including animal carcasses, in the water. The crocodile has been spotted in the river that runs through the village. Rudy lays down the law. The advice is simple. Don't lure the crocodile into the village with easy meals. It seems to work. There are no further attacks near San Marcos. Instead, the crocodile sets off in a different direction. It's been spotted 5 kilometers south of Lake Mihaba, and it's about to kill again. Nueva Era is a remote village set back from the marsh. The small stream that flows through it is the sole source of water for 1,300 residents. A 15-meter wooden bridge is the only safe crossing. especially now that the croc is in their creek. It's a long way from home, having swum through a network of rivers and creeks to reach the village from Lake Mihaba. Local farmer Daniel Uxtero has already worked a full day on the land. After dinner, he has to go out fishing, working a double shift to feed a wife and 7 children. He doesn't go fishing near the bridge. He's within earshot of his younger sister. Daisy's house overlooks the creek.
Even though it was dangerous to be on the creek at night, Daniel had to go fishing so he could buy rice the next day and feed his family.
Without knowing it, Daisy hears her brother's final moments.
The night that Daniel disappeared, at about 9 p.m., it was dead quiet in the village. I felt like I was the only one awake. Then the dog started to bark angrily. And then I heard splashes in the water. Very loud splashes. I was terrified, so I went to bed. The next morning, one of our relatives came to tell me that Daniel had gone missing.
Despite repeated attempts to find his body, all that was ever found of Daniel was his boat and his hat.
This picture is the only memory we have of Daniel, because just before he was killed, his house burned down and everything he owned was destroyed.
This was Daniel's house, but it burnt down. He was building another one when he went missing.
Daniel's family lost a provider and a much-loved father and son.
Of course I miss him. He's my son. Perhaps it was fate. He was a fisherman, and maybe this is a fisherman's fate.
The fate of Daniel's killer is also sealed. The government in Manila has finally issued a permit to hunt down the rogue crocodile, as long as it's taken alive. There's only one man for the job. Croc legend Ronnie Sumiller has been hunting nuisance crocodiles for 20 years. This will be his most dangerous mission yet. Members of Daniel's family are eager to show Ronnie to where the attack happened.
I really want them to catch that crocodile because I want to see if it ate my brother.
I am scared of the big crocodile.
We're especially afraid for the children. There are lots of children here.
The children don't swim here anymore, but they're in great danger anytime they come close to the creek. The water's edge is a favorite hunting ground for crocodiles. They're ambush predators. It's a strategy honed over millions of years. By lowering their heart rate to 2 beats per minute, they can stay submerged for an hour without breathing, waiting for prey to stray into the strike zone. The attack is sudden and fast. Death can be slow. Crocodile teeth are not for chewing. They're for holding the prey, while the croc uses brute strength to rip it to pieces. They spin to tear off chunks from large prey, the infamous death roll. Smaller prey is shaken to pieces. Ronnie's plan is to use the croc's own preferred hunting strategy to capture it. A morsel of chicken suspended just above the water is an irresistible lure.
So that's the principle. When it is grabbed by the crocodile, the crocodile will run away and this will close down. This will catch the upper jaw.
In Ronnie's experience, a snare is least likely to injure a crocodile.
Bubo siguro yung kandong. Bubo. So this is a hard job. Because you have to make sure that it's we have to capture it alive.
Ronnie posts a sentry in a nearby treehouse. Now, it's a waiting game. In the morning, the bait is gone, and the trap is